Hi friends, welcome to a new video and a new weekly reading vlog. So one of my big goals for this year, as we know, is continuing in series and finishing series off. So this week, this video, we are spending the next week 100% focused on continuing books and series that I've started. So a lot of this, it will be random books and series, a bunch of random continuations, and we'll be going over, you know, some of my stats of where I'm at and different things right now. So welcome to the reading vlog and this week. So a lot of these books, as we know, a lot of the continuations in series, they might be giving spoilers to books that came previous in them. So there's a lot of these that I may not necessarily get into that many details about, but we will just go along on the journey and just see how I am progressing in my reading every day, which hopefully will be interesting enough. So where we're starting at this, we are Wednesday evening, and right now I have 2 books on the go that both 100%, actually 3 books on the go that really correspond to series that I want to finish. First off, one that I've had on the go for a bit now. I started it in a readathon a few weeks ago and haven't really taken the moment to finish it, is Psycho Gods by Jasmine. This is book 6 in a series and it is the final one. And this is a shifter romance, like why choose shifter / many magical creatures romance that I really enjoy. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to it. Then I am continuing on Magician Master by Raymond Feist, and this is book 2 in his Rift War saga, which is a huge fantasy world. It is encompassing multiple worlds and travel between these different planets and a magician who is being involved in this huge intergalactic war. And then the other book that I have on the go right now is Business Casual by Borrison, and this is book 4 in a small town romance series and also the last book in this series. I don't know if there'll be others released, but at least this one is the final one in the series. And this one we are following just 2 characters in this small town as they are going about their relationship. So those are 3 books that we are starting the week with. If I finish, you know, Business Casual and Psycho Gods, there's 2 series completely done, which would be fantastic. I am hoping to get to some others this week. We will really see just how the week goes and what kind of progress we make, but I'm excited. I really can't wait to see how this goes, and thank you for joining. So like I said, it is Wednesday evening now and I don't really have anything else that I need to do tonight, so I think I'm gonna just hunker down and try to read for a few hours. So let us get into that. So before I get into today's updates, let us quickly look at this edition that I got from Owl Crate in their adult box, which I canceled after this. So this is Wooing the Witch Queen, and this I honestly don't know what the fuck was wrong with them, because this was the dust jacket that was intended to be like the actual one, and then this one is the reverse stitch jacket. Like this, the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen, and so boring, but this is fun. This is fun, so I don't know. And then the sprayed edges, I'm just gonna say this looks like something, and you know, I'm sure once you start thinking of it, it will not go away. But I do not know what was in their minds with this edition. I'm really excited for this book though. It does seem really fun. And I did decide to cancel my Owl Crate entirely because, well, I mean, guess for one, I'm not loving the editions they're doing. I really enjoy their book choices, but I haven't been enjoying the editions they've been doing. And I'm trying to spend a little bit less money right now because I just booked, really excited. I booked a tattoo for July that I want to really make sure that I am putting a bunch of money towards so that I can actually afford it. And it's not going to be as much money as I'm saving, but I want to be very well prepared just in case and have like a huge chunk of money set aside just in case it ends up being crazy expensive. So I decided to cancel my Owl Crate, and I right now am only subscribed to Broken Binding and Arcane Society, but I'm being like incredibly liberal with my scripts for Arcane. So yeah, this is one of the last Owl Crate books I will be getting. I did buy 1 month of their Romantasy book box, but immediately regretted that and can't cancel it. So getting 1 month of that. And yeah, otherwise this will probably be the last one. So let us talk about a little bit of reading update. It is now Thursday at about 6:30 p.m. So we are finished up for the day. We worked out, we are done dinner, and we are, after we filming this at least, getting ready to like really deep dive into some more reading because I'm in the mood. I'm ready. And I did finish. So yesterday when I updated, I don't know if I said it, but I was around like 40-ish% into Magician Master by Raymond Feist. And I'm not done. I'm done. I put a really heavy emphasis on reading that last night, reading it before work, reading it over lunch, and really trying to get through it because my loan was expiring from Libby and I just wanted to have it finalized. Which, as an aside, we just got announced that the next 3 months for Broken Binding are going to be this series or this trilogy, and I'm so intensely excited. Also because I cannot find book 2 at any libraries. So I guess book 3 technically. Can't find it at any libraries. So at least I'm getting that in the mail. And yeah, I'm going to be continuing on in the series. There's a few when I'm reading the author's reading order, there's a few random books that come in before the next one in this trilogy. So I'm going to be reading those for the next few months and just waiting for my Broken Binding edition to come in. But we are done this one. It's a little confusing because originally the author wrote this one book, Magician, and since then he has decided to split it up into 2 books and do a revised edition where basically these books have added a ton of information, a ton of extra details that he was originally told to cut out of it. So now it's like a really comprehensive view into what he actually wanted, and because of that it is extremely long, so it had to be cut into 2 books. So it is really following this young boy, or he's young at the beginning of it, and he ends up being drafted to be an apprentice to a magician in this castle. And as he is going through his apprenticeship, this war breaks out because a portal is basically opened to another planet, and this other like empire of people, they seemingly open these portals all over the world so that they can go in and get resources from these other planets because their planet is very barren and doesn't really have enough for them to survive. So they go to these other planets, they conquer, they take their resources and bring people into their empire basically. Book 1, it was kind of dealing with the beginning of this, and it led to our main character being taken as a slave and being brought back to the home world of this planet. And then we are following him basically through, I don't know, like 15 years in this one as he goes through all of these crazy journeys and eventually becomes a master magician. And it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed this one. I like, to the point that I think I'm actually going to give this 5 stars, which I was not expecting by any means, because I enjoyed the first one like a decent amount, but something in this one 100% clicked for me, and I am like fully in this series now. It was just so interesting seeing like all of these different types of magic, all of these different peoples, all of this like political movement, because we had all of these different planets, different like factions within these planets, different kingdoms, potential civil wars, like all of these different people fighting for control. And it was so fascinating. And then like just so many things that I enjoyed about it. And I really have to say the writing in this one is super super reminiscent for me of Robert Jordan and the Wheel of Time. Like, it was really giving me a lot of Wheel of Time vibes. Not necessarily in content, but just the writing itself felt very similar to that. And Wheel of Time, one of my all-time favorite series. So just something about this writing felt like very nostalgic for me that way, and loved it. Loved it so much. Like, really excited to continue on in this world, because from what I believe, I mean, like, I know some of the books follow this magician, but a lot of them are just primarily about all of these different like rifts that happen and the different wars that go on between these different planets, and this one that's trying to like control everything. There's also this really like ominous enemy that we don't know about, where when rifts are open, there's this enemy presence that is in the background that people can sometimes sense, that is coming in to potentially try to kill all the inhabitants of these worlds. And we don't know anything about it. We just know right now it is a very ominous presence that seemingly wants to kill everyone and wipe out like basically all living humans. So I can't wait. I'm excited. I am ready to go. But that one, so I can't continue on in that series quite yet. I'm probably going to be ordering some of the other like random books that take place in between then this book and the next one. So there's like random little standalones basically of other characters that are taking place at basically the same time as this book. The reading order seems very confusing, but there's a few that I'm going to be ordering on Amazon because they're like $12 there. And for tonight, what we'll be continuing, so still working on Business Casual by BK Borrison, 28% into that, and I am now 42% into Psycho Gods by Jasmine. So I think I'm going to be alternating between those two. Both of them should be relatively quick reads. Like, Psycho Gods is a lot of pages. It's like 800 pages, but it is a very fast 800 pages, if that makes sense. And another one that I really want to get to, probably will be working on it tonight, is Age of War by J Sullivan. And this is book 3 in a fantasy series, which I really don't know how to describe this one. It's kind of like this war between humans and elves, I guess. But in the first one, basically, so there's elves, elf-like creatures that are viewed as gods to the humans, and then they are thought to be unkillable until a human kills them, and it sets off like this crazy set of emotions that is really like leading to a potential rebellion in the way power is structured. Don't know how to describe it, but this is book 3. I'm enjoying it. Didn't like book 2, but I'm feeling much better about this one. And yeah, those are the 3 that I'm gonna probably like primarily focus on. Still, like, again, there's so many others that I really want to do, but we'll really see like where time-wise things take us. But excited to get to some more. And yeah, I'm just gonna be reading a ton tonight, so let's go. Hi, it's like first thing Sunday morning right now. Really haven't had like a lot to update the last 2 days, and kind of just sitting down now to like get my day organized. But yeah, it was Fridays. I am a disaster. Always, I like really have no energy to do anything. And wow, my eyebrows are even less than usual. And then yesterday, Saturday, was like a crazy day of just running errands and stuff. So like by the time we were home and I worked out and everything, it was like 8 p.m. and I did not feel like talking to the camera. So here we are. I have a few updates from the last 2 days, and then today I really don't have like a crazy amount planned. I like, aside from my normal like getting life together things, which happen every Sunday, which is just like a lot of meal prep, a lot of organizing my week. I don't have too much going on, so you know, we have a good opportunity to get a ton of reading done, which I am happy about. And I do want to edit some videos and stuff, but like I'm feeling good. So a few updates that we're starting off on today. I have been continuing the books that I was reading. So I am, what is it? Let me check. So I'm 72% into Age of War, which is the book by J Sullivan that I've been continuing. It is a fantasy book, book 3 in the series, and going well. I don't know, like I have mixed feelings on this series. I feel like it's hard to describe. It's very much just humans coming into their own in this world, and a world that was very much previously like 100% controlled by an elf kind of creature. So it's really humans coming into their own and like really starting to thrive. So it's interesting in that way. It just, I find some of the books kind of ebb and flow, and like they're not necessarily the most interesting at times, unfortunately. So that's like one issue that I kind of have with it, is that it's like in theory I think it should be good. It's just like some of the books I just find kind of boring. So I'm going to continue on in this series. There are 6 books and I do want to finish them because I know this author has multiple series within this world. They're just like a couple 100 years apart from each other. So it's one that I do want to like continue for that reason. The series is kind of dragging. Though this book, I am much more interested in book 3 than I was in book 2. So that's good, I guess. And I've been continuing Business Casual by BK Borrison. So book 4 in a little romance series, and it's like a small town romance. The first one takes place on a Christmas tree farm, and all the subsequent books really take place on this farm too. They're just like different employees of the farm, different family members, and I love it. I love it. So when I finish this one, I will be done this series, which will feel fantastic. But this one's super cute. We are following basically the brother of the Christmas tree farm's owner. Did I word that right? I think so. But the owner's brother, and he gifts his sister and her now husband a like month or 2 trip to Italy. And with that, he tells her that he will take over running the farm for her while they are gone. So he is like he works in finance in New York, and the city, it's supposedly like an hour or 2 away, but he is always in this little small town because he loves it and he really wants to like belong somewhere, / he's really lonely in New York. So he is constantly in this town and loves this excuse of like he has to be there for a few months to like actually really work on the farm. And while he's there, he decides to really start flirting and kind of amp things up with his longtime crush, Nova, who is a tattoo artist who's starting up her own shop. And because he knows all these finance things, he's been helping her with like getting everything set up. And they decide to have a one-night stand because they realize they have this attraction to each other. They're like, we'll have a one-night stand, we'll get out of our systems. And then, you know, of course, that is not how it goes. And they end up agreeing that they're going to keep things casual. They're going to call it business casual. So it's just like a little like silly relationship that does not matter as much to them. But, you know, it is of course going to be more because Charlie, the main character too, he is really invested in Nova and like really into her. So that's where we are in that one. It's cute. I like it. I'm getting like, you know, it's cute. It makes me happy. And I really enjoyed this series. So we're going to finish off that one. And we do have other books on the go, but I think I've talked enough for right now. I'm going to go read and just get started on my day. So before we head to bed, let's talk about some of the progress I made today. So I finished Age of War, which, not surprised, was expecting to be done it. And it's a 3-star. I don't really have too much to say about this series. Like, I think we're just really following the like revolution, I guess, of humans in this world. And as they kind of come into their own and potentially maybe become like big power players in one of the next world, like ages of this world, because previously they're kind of thought to be as like lesser than the elves, who were like basically thought of as gods for the humans, and now they're kind of realizing that maybe they aren't as powerful as the humans always thought. So I enjoy it, but I'm glad to be done that one. And then I did finish Business Casual as well, which is great. Really enjoyed this one. Like, I'm gonna give it a 4-star too, because I really enjoy seeing this couple. They're cute. This was just like a really cute one of like just seeing them fall for each other, and really, you know, just I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say, just like it was cute and really enjoyed it. And the only other thing I guess those are 2 big things, but I got 70% into is Psycho Gods, which I am loving, really, really loving. And I'm going to be really sad when this series does wrap. Because I don't know if I've talked too much about it, but this is book 6 in a series. It's like the second arc within it. And they're both like why choose romances, which are my favorite thing. They're kind of ridiculous, but really fun, really addicting. And overall, like I genuinely really, really love these series. They are kind of like, they're not serious in a lot of ways. And they're not really ones that you could like look at and be like, oh, this is the best book I've ever read. But I love it. I love it. Like I'm giving all of them 5 stars, but I can genuinely look at them and say like, they're not very well written. I just happen to really, really enjoy all of the things that they're being talked about. So I'm having a great time. We are following one main character as she's identified as having like this crazy power and is brought to this like assassin school basically. And from there it ends up getting involved in this like war of the gods and stuff. So fun. So fun. Loving it. Having the best time ever. So I had to bed now, but just really wanted to quickly get these updates in and then we will continue on tomorrow, I guess. Hi. Okay. I actually don't look as tired as I feel. Like, go me for once. So it is Monday night now. We are, second last day of this reading vlog and I just finished up dinner. So, where am I going with this? So finish up dinner. I'm having one of those nights where unfortunately I need to log back in and work like quite a bit of overtime tonight. But before I did that, I wanted to quickly pop in and update some things. And also at some point I need to fit in a workout at some point tonight. And I was really hoping to go for a swim, but that is not seeming like it's gonna happen. But I do have some reading updates. Did not have a lot of time to read today, but between last night after I updated, I read in bed for a little bit, this morning before work, read a little bit, over lunch, read a little bit. I do have a few things to talk about. And this is really like, if you're ever wondering how I managed to read so much, it's one, I'm a fast reader, and two, like I really try to carve these little pieces of time together where I actually can read and focus on a book and whatever. But it's good. Like I don't have a crazy amount of time in my schedule, but when I do, I'm able to focus and get through some books pretty quick. So I started the next sequel I'm going into, and when I finish this one, I will be up to date on that series. And this is Monsoon Rising by Thea Guanzon. And it's a sequel to The Hurricane Wars, which is a romantasy that came out last year. It was a Kylo Ren fanfic turned novel, and one that really was fun and really like you could see this Reylo inspired world. You could 100% see the inspiration in everything that the characters were saying, and that is not something that bothers me. I happen to be a huge Reylo fan, and in fact they are the only like fan fiction that I tend to read. I really can't get into that many. I mean, I was going through a phase last month where I read a ton of Hunger Games fan fiction, but the one that I consistently go back to time and time again is Reylo. So that was something that I was reading, and any book that has this like Reylo inspired world, inspired characters, I tend to get into it. I can't deny that. And this one, it was like kind of a mess, if we're being honest. It was like crazy world building, like just not, by crazy I guess not very well done world building. It was just overall kind of ridiculous, and a lot of it was just crazy and over the top and insane, but something that I happened to enjoy a fair amount. Like, even though it was kind of crazy, I still went into this book and had a good time. There's like this evil empire who's taking over the world, and they wield this dark magic. They've killed off everyone who has light magic, but then we follow our female protagonist who happens to somehow have this light magic and also be the long lost heir to this kingdom. And it was fun. Very ridiculous, but fun. And these two heirs end up getting into an arranged marriage situation. So I'm excited to get into this one. I will say, so far it is not as exciting. And this very much could be. I have a problem a lot of times going into romantasy sequels because I don't know, like I find a lot of times the most interesting stuff happens in the first book. There's usually some kind of really fun premise, and then the second one tends to be more world building and just visiting other parts of the world, doing more political stuff. And like typically those are things I enjoy, but I find a lot of the times in romantasy books it's not done the way that I want it. So I'm a little hesitant about this one. I'm hoping I'll really enjoy it, but so far I have to say, like, I'm not thoroughly into it as much as I was hoping to be. And this might be one that I have to go back and read the first book again at some point. Like, we'll see. I'm not remembering as much of the details as I was hoping I would. So at some point I might need to go back and reread all of these, but that's going on. I think I'm 30-ish% into it. And then I started another book. This is not a series at all. It does not really pertain to this week and this theme, but I want to talk about it. So I started a nonfiction called Unlikely Female Characters, Unlikable Female Characters. What is it? It's a nonfiction that's basically talking about unlikable. Okay, my notes have unlikely. I'm really doing bad with like book names lately. But we're talking about all these different tropes of female characters that end up being like unlikable characters within media. So a lot of them, this one is really taking a look at movies and TV shows in general, and just a lot of the different types of female characters that exist and how they tend to not be liked by media or viewers. So some of them, like chapters we've covered so far, there's like the bitch, the slut, the train wreck, like all of these type of people who tend to be, you know, looked down upon and really viewed unfavorably in media. And this happens to be, I have to say, like one of the types of nonfiction that I definitely prefer. I really like ones that talk more about media and a lot about like different things to do with pop culture, the analysis of TV shows, the analysis of movies, the conversation behind characters. Like these are some of the nonfiction books that I get really into. It's either this or women's health. These are like the only ones that I really enjoy, but I'm having a fantastic time with this. It's just really interesting to look at also the evolution of these types of characters, like how this like slut character has evolved from the beginning of movies to where they are now, and just how media has consistently viewed people who play these characters and what these characters represent. And really interesting. I'm truly having a fantastic time reading that one, and just wanted to mention that like I'm reading that in the background as well. I'm 50% into it, and yeah, just deeply enjoying it. So that's what's on the docket for right now. I am gonna probably do like another hour of work right now, and then hopefully still have some energy to go work out, which is like kind of one of those like majorly mental health necessary things, you know. So we will get to that and just see where today takes us, I guess. I feel like I might need to get like a mouth guard. I do technically need to wear one at night. Then I might need one for like when I'm lifting too, because I'm kind of noticing like when I'm lifting heavier, I start clenching my jaw like crazy, and it's definitely becoming a bit of a problem because I've had like mild, I would say like a mild tension headache ever since, and I mean ever since this afternoon when I lifted, and yeah, it's driving me a little crazy. So definitely think I need to kind of do something about that. But I've been like really trying to do a lot of heavier lifts and it feels fantastic. I feel like strong as hell, but there's just some things like that. I might need a lifting belt too, because like I'm going to get to that point where like I already have a bad back and I really don't want to like do anything that might potentially risk. There's that. So I finished off a Monsoon Rising this morning, and this is going to be a little bit difficult to talk about because I really do not feel like I'm coming out of this one with like any thoughts, which sometimes that's good, sometimes it's just like, yeah, I enjoyed it. But this one was much more of like, ooh, could I tell you anything that happened in this? Could I by any means feel like I was engaged enough to really have locked in on something that happens? And like, no, not very much in here. I really feel like I don't know, like just read and everything went over my head, and like not in a, it was complicated and I was so unengaged and so uninterested. I don't know if it was bad per se or if this was just a case of I really should have read the first one before going into this. Honestly, don't know what one I would say, don't know what one I kind of am feeling, but I can just say I didn't enjoy this one, and I'm gonna give it 2 stars. So I think I definitely at some point would like to reread it. I think I'd really like to reread the Hurricane Wars and then go into this one and see if like maybe it works a little bit differently for me. But I really felt like there was none of the like, there was very interesting world building in the first one. It was a little insane and all over the place, but it was interesting. And the character relationships, there's a lot of things happening. There was a arranged marriage, enemies to lovers, all of these things, and it did continue in the second one, but it didn't do it how like in a way that I felt engaged in anything. And even just like the infighting between the different characters, just so many of the things that I had originally enjoyed in the first one, I don't feel like they actually like were present in this one, I guess. So I am feeling fairly disappointed. It's a 2-star. Maybe at some point I will continue on in this series. Maybe I will reread them and go back, because I did feel very excited on the first one. It was Raylo fanfiction, pretty much. Actually, I did find out that it was actually like the author had actually originally published this online as Raylo fanfiction, and then it was so popular that it ended up being rewritten and published traditionally. I can definitely feel that, like you can really feel that in the first one. And yeah, I'm just a little disappointed that the second one didn't seem to have that same magic for me. So 2 stars, we're disappointed. I am going to try to read one more book. We are 6-ish p.m. right now, so I'm gonna go make dinner in a little bit, but I do want to finish the other book that I've started. I'm 30ish% into it right now, and this is Reclaimed by Jasmine. So this is the second series book so the first one, we are following a shifter, and in this world, shifters have been created by the shadow beast, who's just this like supposedly mythological creature, but she ends up being like very much rejected by her pack, and basically as she is trying to run away, she kind of calls it into her mind, like, shadow beast, come help me. And then he appears and he brings her back to his dimension, which is this like vast sprawling library that has portals to every world. And he basically brings her in to work for him and trying to help him solve this like issue he's having about not being able to connect to the shadow realm, and their door has been locked off for centuries, and something about her seems to have some kind of connection to it. So really enjoyed the first one, and we're kind of just continuing that story in this one. We have again our shifter female main character, very interesting, shadow daddy, love interest, a lot of things I really enjoy, and I am very excited to continue on this one. It's a pretty enjoyable but not like crazy high stakes type of romance, and sometimes that's all I want. So I'm just having a great time continuing on in this, and that is my main goal. I want to finish that one off tonight, and then I don't even know at this point, will we have 5 books read? Maybe watch me like I'm currently questioning everything. I don't know how many I read. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue on that. I'm gonna make dinner. We're doing pizza again tonight, but let's go for it. I'm editing and realized that I never actually filmed like an official outro to this video. So coming in now to just kind of say, hi, video's over. I did end up finishing Reclaimed. I will say it's been a few days, aka more like 2 weeks, since I finished that vlog. So I don't really have like thoughts at top of my mind. I know I gave it 4-star. I know I enjoyed it. And I remember thinking that the series took an interesting route, but in terms of like particulars about it and like more in-depth thoughts, I don't really have that many. I like this series. I'm ready to continue on in it because there is a trilogy and then like 3 standalones in this world. I'm excited to continue on in it. And then I did start the 3rd book after that, so I don't like, that's kind of my issue where my thoughts is I'm not really sure what happened in this 3rd book versus the 2nd one, so I don't want to say too much. Basically, I'm just gonna pop in here and say thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're ready to see some more videos like this because we are really putting that emphasis on finishing series, and you better believe we're going to be doing at least 1 weekly vlog a month where we're 100% focused on sequels, series, whatever. So thanks for watching today's video, and hopefully I will see you in something very soon.